If you're out there right now and you've got something that you want to do, but you're afraid that it won't be received well, or you're not the right person for it, you don't have enough talent, you don't have enough skill, you don't have enough money, let me tell you something. You need to just do it. The world needs the person you were meant to be. No punches pulled here on 8 Second Rule. This is 8 Second Rule, the podcast about attention-based marketing where we talk about getting, holding on to, and developing the attention of your ideal audience. You've got 8 seconds. What are you going to do with it? Hello, I am Mark R. Morris Jr., the host of 8 Second Rule and the bull rider of copywriting. Find me on LinkedIn if you'd like to know what that means. 8 seconds is about how much attention you get from someone if they are just passively coming by your content, and that's what you need to get them hooked in and make them pay attention. Today, I've got a guy named David Munford on who is working a podcast. He's hustling it. He's been doing it since August. He's gotten up to about 400 listeners so far with about 22 episodes, and he's building a worldwide audience, guys, and he's so low-key, so easygoing about it that if you are hesitant to get your voice out there, I really want to hear I just want to hear your excuses after you listen to David, because he's going to bust them for you. Listen, he's going to tell you that you need to put your voice out there in the world, all right? Because the world needs to hear from people like you. That's what needs to happen. So I think that's all I've got to say, really, just going straight into this interview with David Munford. Thanks, guys. Hello.
Hey,
This is David Munford.
it is.
So nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet
So here on 8 Second Rule, I am speaking to David Munford. We are connected on LinkedIn and have not spent a lot of time conversing, but he approached me about the possibility of me being on his podcast. And then I said, well, I tell you what, why don't we also record an interview for my podcast, and we'll see how that goes. And maybe we can help promote each other. So, David, where are you at in the world?
I am in Cleveland, Tennessee,
Cleveland.
which I consider Seattle of the South, because you never know what the weather's going to do. It rains here more than it's, say, sunny. So.
Yeah. So what's it like today?
Right now, this morning it's been rainy, and it's going to be, I don't know what this afternoon's going to be like. We never know this time of year. You never can tell.
I totally understand. I'm from Oklahoma, and we once had a few years back a night where we literally had an ice storm. We had raging wildfires going on. We had earthquakes from all of the fracking that's taken place in our state. We had flash flooding, and then a tornado hit a tiger refuge, and some of the big cats got out. And this is not an exaggeration. This was an actual night in Oklahoma. All of those things happen in like a 3-hour period, and they call it the night of the Tigernado. So when anybody talks about weather to an Okie, we're kind of like, you're cute.
Yeah, we got nothing on that.
I mean, there's more extreme places in the world, you know. I mean, the Sahara gets hotter than here. It's drier. But we sometimes get up to 115 degrees. So, you know, and then we'll also get down to minus 5 or 10, you know, on occasion.
Whoa.
So it's pretty crazy. All right, David. So
Yes.
We're going to talk today about, you wanted to share with me some thoughts on authenticity and how you approach getting attention for your podcast. So first, tell us what your podcast even is.
My podcast.
Start with the name.
Is Seeing Red with David Munford, and that and basically I was approached back in August, September, that I needed to start my own podcast because I'd been on so many, and I needed to give people the opportunity to come on my podcast and share their stories and have a safe place to talk about anything they wanted to talk about. So my podcast is just an open platform where people can come on and discuss any. I've had topics from anxiety to, I recorded one last night with, like, where is your what building is your ladder leaning against, and what ladder are you running up? How are you running up your ladder? What does it look like when you're running up your ladder? So mine just has a wide range of topics, and it's a wide variety. It's just an open platform,
Okay.
where people can talk,
Okay.
and have an open conversation.
Hi, guys. This is Mark Morris, the copy bull writer from 8 Seconds Rule. And I just want to start off by telling you about Anchor. Anchor.fm. I found this site a couple of years ago, and it is the simplest and easiest way to start a podcast that I know of today. You can do it straight from your smartphone. You don't need anything but their app. It's free. They have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast. You can even add music, add buffers, all of those things right here on the site. It doesn't cost anything to host it. You can start as many as you want. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it's heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, many more, and you make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
The recording I did last night, I connected with the guy in Tasmania, Australia.
That's crazy.
And
Yeah.
I was sitting in my office in Tennessee.
Isn't that cool?
So,
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. He's in Cleveland, Tennessee, talking to the other side of the world, guys, and recording a podcast. And I've recorded episodes in my kitchen. I recorded a couple episodes the other day in my car. And I'm trying to just bust through this thing. And we talked last night about the traffic that he's had, and he said he's had about 400 listens so far since August.
Yeah, about 400. Right at 400 people, like, total views on all mine.
All right, so David, tell me what you have for us today. What would you like to share?
I think talking about the 8-second rule, or just about what we talked about last night, just by being authentic, and we've kind of been talking about it already. Talk about the podcast is, if you're authentic, if you're what did I say last night? If you're real, if you're taking off the mask of who you are, then you're gonna get people that want to follow you, that want to watch what you're doing, because I get so many requests every day to that want to join my network, and I'm not pushing stuff out every day. I'm just pushing out real things that happened in my life, or quotes I've seen that I'm like, wow, this could really help somebody out. This could benefit just one person. And all I want to do is help one person out. I just want to be authentic, be who I am, not be, I don't know, a showy, glitz glamour person. I've never been like that in life. I'm just authentic. If you like me, you like me. If you don't, okay, there's somebody else that's gonna like me. There'll be another person come down the road.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right, David. There's 8 billion of us on this planet, and if you can't find a tribe, it's probably because you're not really showing your true self, like he just said. Tell me about the title of your show, because it's a unique, you said it's Seeing Red. And I mean, normally we think of, like, I've got a bull in my logo. People have seen it. And so I talk about bull riding. So that's something that we think of, we associate with, being angry or frustrated, but I assume you had a reason for using it, and I'd love to hear what it is, because I'm really curious.
The way the whole thing with Seeing Red started is, I wear red glasses, and I don't have to wear glasses, but the eye doctor says it's just recommended I wear glasses. So I was on a podcast for the automotive industry, because I'm a service advisor at a dealership, and the lady I was on with, when I got on, she's like, "Oh my gosh, you actually wear the red glasses." I'm like, "Yeah, I actually wear red glasses." And when we got done talking, we got done with the interview. She was a branding specialist, and she's like, "Do you have any brand? Do you have branding for your podcast?" Because I was just getting ready to start it. And I was like, "No, I really don't." She's like, "Well, I'm gonna create you a logo for your podcast." So I was like, "Oh, okay." And about a day, I think it was like the next day, or it might have been even 30 minutes after we got off the phone call, she sent me a PDF file with with a picture. She drew some red glasses, and she made the podcast "Seeing Red with David." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that is awesome!" Because I kind of, after she sent that to me, I was like, okay, what does the color red really mean? Because I had no clue what red actually. I always saw the red as being like anger or blood, or just kind of the negative side of it. But the color red actually is love. It's hard work. It's authentic. It's being true. It's a true color. It's everything that I am in my life. It's trustworthy. So that is basically, that's the backstory of my whole, how I live my life is how I look. When I look through red, I'm looking at, okay, how am I going to work hard today? Am I going to be authentic? Am I going to be that person that's always trustworthy, that's always there for everybody? And that's how I live my life. And that's how I want other people to start living their lives, is just be who you are. Just be you. Just be true to yourself.
That's very cool. So you went a different direction and actually kind of did a little research into the color psychology of the color red, and really felt that it fit you. So that's awesome, man. I love it. It's great. And I think it'll attract attention because people are going to come to it expecting something else. And sometimes it's fun to flip the tables. That's a great attention getting strategy, by the way, because since people assume that, if I heard that title as a podcast, and probably you too, before you actually named your podcast that, what would you think? You'd think somebody was on there maybe ranting about things and, expressing their frustration with the world, which that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But, and then you get in here and suddenly you have all this positivity and a guy who's actually trying to make a big difference just by touching just a few people. But I bet the ripples from your podcast, my friend, are going to go far. That's exciting.
I've already seen ripples, because I've got people, like I had last night, a guy, let's see, I've had that guy in Tasmania. I've had one other lady in Australia. I've had where I've hit Spain. I've hit India. And it's literally like every day, it's just literally just going out. It's just like one little start, just one little ripple, one little taking off the mask of, I don't think I can do this, but let's do it anyways. And it's people wanting to jump on, or wanting to do this, or asking to come on. Like I don't even ask people. I had some people last night say, "Hey, we would love to be on. What do we need? What's the process we need to do to come on your podcast?" Because they heard it. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. And it's because I was open with my first episode. I talked about my past and how I was involved in pornography, how I was involved in drinking, how I was involved in so many different areas in the past that people can listen to. When they listen to it, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're real." I'm like, "Yeah, that's who I am. I'm just me."
And listen, I want to encourage the audience here at 8 Second Rule to listen to what he's saying and to figure out what genuine means for you.
Yes.
For you, none of those things may be an issue that you just mentioned. Those might not be the hot buttons that you need to talk about. Maybe you were, maybe you're just struggling in your business. Maybe you had some horrible experience in your life, but whatever your life has handed you, you need to listen. A lot of times we say play the cards you're dealt like it's a negative thing. But honestly, I think that the universe prepares us for the job that we're supposed to do. And so the experiences that we go through are going to be what we need in order to speak to the people that, get put in our path. So I think that's so cool. You've got an international audience, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Did you ever think that was going to happen?
I didn't. I still don't have any, what I'm trying to say? I don't have any plans for this. I'm just gonna go with this as long and as far as I can. And when it gets to the point where it's not reaching people, or I feel like, okay, I've done this for so long, maybe I'll stop. Maybe I'll give it a break for a while. I don't have any plans. I don't really have any plans to this. I just started doing it, and I'm loving it. Because I'm having the opportunity to talk to so many different people and hearing so many different stories that it's kind of like there's a lot of interesting people out there, and there's a lot of people that just need a place through this pandemic to talk and have a safe place to talk, because we don't get that. I'm having a lot of males come on here. And it's weird. It's crazy to think that guys actually want to talk about their feelings or talk about their personal stuff, because guys usually don't want to do that.
Right. No, that's cool, though. I'm glad you're giving them a forum for that. So just in closing then, David, what would you say if you were to tell someone, if they feel like they've got a message, and what would you tell them is the first step when they step out to actually kind of move into, because I know you're not trying to build a huge audience, but you're still kind of in an attention-based marketing mindset a little bit. You want people to listen. Yeah. So what would you say is the first and most important thing that they should hear? And we'll just close out with this. Just tell me, your best tip of when you started. What would you say they need to know?
It's been said so many times, and it's kind of crazy to think. Just do it. Just start. Don't think about it. Don't think I'm not capable of it. Don't think, oh my gosh, no one's going to listen to me. Just do it. Don't.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's the response I was hoping you would give me, actually, David, I have to say, because I think there's a lot of people in the world who they prejudge themselves. They prejudge their ability to reach an audience. They prejudge themselves to maybe build a business or take out on their own because they've lost their job during this time, or find an opportunity that suits them. All of these things, and maybe it's not a podcast. Maybe it's you want to write a book. Maybe it's start a blog, or you want to start some kind of a charitable organization, or you want to produce your own music, whatever that is. You hear David Munford and Mark R. Morse Jr. here telling you on 8 Second Rule today, just do it. Okay, guys, listen, you've got about 8 seconds to catch someone's attention, and you need to decide what you're going to do with it before you step up to the plate to swing the bat. David Munford, thank you so much for being on with me today.
Thank you.